Welcome. Today we're going to look at how to ensure reliable recurring revenues in your social enterprise, most importantly without losing sight of your core objectives, whatever's going on in the world. This is for social entrepreneurs who want to maximise their impact and their income. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to package your products and services sensibly, how to connect with your customers effectively, and how to grow your business in 3 simple steps. Now more than ever, it's more important that for your business to have reliable, recurring revenues leading to financial freedom, and how to stay true to your core objectives throughout the whole process. Now imagine 2 potential ends to for the same story. So I recently heard of an example in America. So this last year has been crazy, hasn't it? Nobody expected COVID. Nobody knew how to react. Nobody knew what would happen. And I heard a story this week that just summed up how a lot of it's about mindset, and it's about how we choose to react to a situation. So the story was 2 restaurants, a small town in America, restaurant on each side of the road, both been there a long time, both successful businesses, and then COVID hit. So obviously the hospitality industry has been hit really hard, and both of them had to close down, had to shut the doors to having people come into the restaurants. Now, restaurant A on one side of the road reacted quite badly. It was devastating to them, didn't know what to do, thought it was unfair, and the business was going to close. They just didn't know what to do, and it was just a catastrophe for them. The business on the other side of the road, however, same catastrophe, same situation, but they took a step back and thought, okay, then what can we do? What can we do to make the best of this situation? So they had a look at the kitchen, and they restructured, and they set up cooking stations so that the chefs could still cook and that they could be distanced from each other. And then they partnered with a local garage down the road who had a big wide open forecourt where they could set up a pop-up restaurant, a pop-up takeaway. And they did this, and it's been a massive success. They've got queues around the blocks. People are coming to the getting takeaway food. The business is busier than they were before COVID. It's been a tremendous success, and they're looking at carrying on doing something like this long term, even when they can reopen the restaurant. Now it just shows that story, two same businesses, same situation, but 2 different reactions to it. So 2 very different potential ends to the story, and it's going to affect their business long term. So what I want to start doing today in this training is just to start looking at things differently and looking how you can pivot, which I'm sure you've been doing anyway. But the idea of this training is just to start sowing some seeds of what else we could perhaps do in our businesses. So yes, the world has been rocked, economies have been rocked in a way that we've never known in our lifetime, but there are still opportunities. For example, e-commerce is growing. I mean, it was already a big business, but with people at home, online shopping, it's just rocketed. Also, another industry right now, Forbes has reported that the self-education industry, now these stats I should say are from before COVID, the self-education industry is worth $355 million US dollars a day, okay, and they were predicting that that was going to grow to $1 billion a day in an industry by 2025. I should say these stats are from before COVID, so imagine what those stats are going to be now. People have, the stats for a number of people setting up their own businesses and taking up new skills and hobbies and doing online learning has just rocketed in this last year. So this is 2 analogies, 2 examples of maybe what could you start doing differently in your business. So who am I? I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Anna Roscoe. I've worked internationally in social enterprise since I was 14 in a huge range of industries. I've worked in outdoor pursuits, in maintenance, in catering, hospitality, hotels, housing associations, aquatics, in the sports industry, particularly swimming, and training lifeguards, teachers, first aid training. And I'm really passionate about social enterprise. I believe social enterprise has got the power to change the world. I just love it, absolutely love it. And I'm also passionate that every social enterprise should be equipped with the tools that they need to run a thriving, sustainable business. As I say, I've worked in social enterprises, I've supported social enterprises, and I've founded my own social enterprise. And I've also got a business degree, but it wasn't until I mastered these marketing skills that we're going to start talking about today that I really started to develop a thriving business and I'm able to make the impact that we want to in the world. So who's Intrepid Social Entrepreneur? I set up Intrepid Social Entrepreneur just this last year. Actually, the idea had come just before COVID, but I think it's more relevant than ever now with COVID, that we're learning these skills. And 100% of the profits are reinvested back into supporting social enterprises worldwide. We live and breathe social enterprise and we practice what we teach. Okay. So, how to ensure reliable recurring revenues in your social enterprise without losing sight of your core objectives and whatever's going on in the world, say particularly now. So there's three secrets what we need to be doing. Okay, so the first secret is how to create a backpack and a map for your customers with your existing skills, knowledge, experience, products and services without losing sight of your core objectives. The second secret, how to refine your marketing skills so that selling becomes a service that you love to do rather than to avoid. And the third secret is how to introduce a bulletproof system to scale and maximise your impact on your income in under an hour a week. So, secret 1. How to create a backpack and a map for your customers with your existing skills, experience, knowledge, products and services without losing sight of your core objectives. So anyone who can remember learning to swim, or any parent who's got children and you used to take them to swimming lessons, or you're taking them to swimming lessons, will know about the age-old badge scheme, your swimming badge scheme. And if you're like me, my mum's kept my towel from when I learnt to swim, and I've got all my swimming badges sewn onto my towel or my swimsuit. But I wanted to bring up the analogy of the badge scheme because it's one of the best examples of having a very clear progression of where you're going and where the potential is to go. So swimming's one of those things so we say we're going to learn to swim, but there's no defined there's a defined start point, but there's no defined end point. You can take that as far as you want to. So you can go from learning to swim to right up to being an Olympian if you want to. Obviously most people don't do that. They don't take it as far as that. But most people do go beyond just learning to swim. So technically, once you've mastered kicking on your back and doing the doggy paddle on the front, you can swim. But most people take it further than that. They perfect the strokes. They take the time to learn the different strokes, to perfect their speed perhaps, to work on the speed, to learn some skills, to do some life saving, to do some synchro. They go beyond just learning the basic doggy paddle. But what I wanted to get at is there's a clear progression through the badge scheme. It's laid out exactly what you need to do for each level, and it's laid out where you can go with each level for you. So I wanted to plant that seed as a way for us to start thinking about our businesses and how we lay out the options for our customers, right from the start point before we even know them to the end point, or the potential of the never ending point of how far they can go with you as a business. So to start with that, we need to start looking at our who, where, our what and our why. So the first one, who is your customer? Okay, it might sound like a daft question who your customer is, but who is your ideal customer? Who do you really want to work with? And how well do you know them? Do you know who your ideal customer is? Do you know what age they are, what gender they are, where they are? Do you know what their passions are? Do you know what their pain points are? Do you know what language they speak? And that could be very literal, as in what language do they speak? English, French, Italian, Japanese, whatever. Or it could be, the type of language they use. So for example, young people speak very differently to older people. So are you using the type of language that's going to attract your ideal customer? And secondly, where are those customers? Are they in your initial immediate local community, or where you're going to meet them. Are you going to meet them online? Are you going to meet them in person? Are you going to meet them one-to-one? Are you going to meet them one-to-many? And say, where's the start and end point in that journey for them to come to you? Thirdly then, what? This is what are you going to provide them with, okay? How do you provide them products and services? Are they physical products? Are they practical services? Are they softwares? Is it a course, a membership? You know, what are you going to do for them, you know, in terms of your products and services? And then lastly, why? Okay, why are you providing them with this product and service? So usually products and services meet two needs. You're either fixing a pain point for your customer or you're providing pleasure. Okay, majority of businesses are fixing pain points. Your customers have got a problem, you're fixing that problem for you. But then alternatively, we do have pleasure as well. Entertainment business is one of the key examples with that. But generally, it's more of a fixing a problem, fixing a pain point for your customer than providing entertainment or some kind of pleasure. So at Intrepid Social Entrepreneur, we've developed a customer backpack. This is our trademarked process, our trademarked toolkit to help you map out the journey that your customer is going to take from the start point to whatever the end point will be, whatever you determine that to be. So we're going to be going through that and starting to teach that and unpack that as we progress through the videos. Now, every social entrepreneur, every social enterprise has been founded because the social entrepreneur's got a passion, they've got a love, they've got a desire to make a difference in their community, and whatever that community might be. But then I've worked with so many social enterprises, and sadly I've seen so many that haven't got the structure. They've got the passion and the desire, but they don't know where they're going, they don't know how to structure it or what to do to get to that point where they're making the impact that they want to. So over the next few weeks and months, we're going to be providing lots of different training videos where we start to unpack that, so we get to the picture where you haven't got lots of beautiful Lego bricks just scattered across the table, that we've actually got the point that we're building your business, we're building your Lego wall, so you can actually make that impact that you want to. So here's an example of that, of how we structure that through our customer backpack. So you want to think about your customer journey right from the very point before you've even met your customer. How are you going to meet your customer? How are you going to hook them? So it takes on average now, well, going back 10 years, it used to take between 6 and 7 impressions generally to make an impact on somebody before they actually noticed you in terms of marketing. In our modern day life now, it's now 16 impressions. We've got so many things flashing before us, particularly on social media and on the internet. It takes 16 impressions before you get somebody's attention. And you need to think about how you're actually going to get their attention. How are you going to hook them? What's the attractive thing that's going to bring them into you? And that's why it's so important to know your customer and know who they are, so that you know exactly how to get their attention. We're then going to start looking about the first sale. You know, what are we going to do for them in order to get a first sale? And then potentially what can we upsell them to develop that relationship further? And then eventually, hopefully, get them onto some kind of continuity program. It won't be applicable for everybody, but that's the ideal. Every business should have some kind of continuity program, some kind of membership or for subscription, or something that keeps the customer coming back to you again and again and again, because that's where you can really maximise your income and your impact. So it's looking at that journey of the customer, of how they can go through those different levels with you, and how we can start organising your products and services to have a logical progression. So a clear route map, it's beneficial for everybody, for the whole team, internally and for the customers and for your beneficiaries. Now, we're not saying that you're going to create this map and you're suddenly going to put it in front of your customer, because that could freak them out and scare them off. In some ways it might be beneficial. For example, with the badge scheme, with the swimming badge scheme, it's beneficial for the customers to know all the options and all the routes for them and how far they can go with it. However, for others it's not, you know, but it's useful for everybody just to have that laid out, so you know what the logical steps are, so you can logically lead your customer, your clients, your beneficiaries. This works for beneficiaries as well, paid customers as well as beneficiaries that aren't paying or maybe are paying a subsidised price. The strategies work for anybody that you're working with in your social enterprise, but a clear route that everybody knows the process of how you're guiding them through. So the second secret then, so how to refine your marketing skills so that selling becomes a service that you love to do rather than avoid. I think money is energy. Money scares people, but it's not. Money is just energy. It's just a transaction, an exchange of energy, okay? And selling is a service. You're actually doing people a disservice if you're not giving them what you have to offer. If you truly believe what you have to offer can help somebody, then you're doing them a disservice if you don't share it with them. Now, saying that, we know that selling does freak some people out. Honestly, I struggled with sales. So I've got a business degree and I just kept shying away from sales. I've developed so many products and services, and I've created them, spent so much time creating stuff, and then I didn't put them out there. Or I put them out there once for like a tiny little moment of time, and then it didn't work. I didn't get a sale straight away, so I retreated back into my little safe place. And it took me a long time to get around, this fear. Basically, it was a fear of selling, and it just sent me a little bit crazy. But what I want you to think about is what does spring to mind when you think about sales, okay? As I say, money is energy and selling is a service. I've totally transformed my way of thinking about this now. So they say sales can conjure up the image of, a salesman in a suit who's just out for a commission. And think car salesman, for example, sleazy car salesman who's just wants his commission, wants to give you the car, and he wants to give you as many upsells as possible. He's not got you in mind as a customer. That's not the type of sales we want to be doing. We will say sales is a service. We don't want to sell anything to somebody that they don't need, okay? If you're doing that, then you are a sleazy salesman and you're not in the right business, okay? We want to provide stuff that can genuinely help people and serve them. So on the flip side of that, think about a new restaurant. New restaurants opened up in your area. Well, a bad analogy at the moment with COVID, but you don't have to think back too far. So new restaurants arrived, you go and try it out. What do? You tell your friends and family about it if it's been a good experience, or even if it's been a bad experience. But if it's been good food, if you've had good service, if they were friendly, if the parking was good, if it was really good value, you tell people, you recommend it. That's selling. You're selling. You're promoting stuff. You're recommending stuff because you think somebody would enjoy it. Alternatively, if somebody's got back pain and you've got a really good chiropractor, if you know that person can help your friend, then you recommend it. That's what sales is. We're just recommending things that can help people. So we need to strip away any fear that we've got of selling from that point of view. It's about building a connection, know, like and trust, with your customers. So where are your customers? What transformation are they looking for? As we said, what language are they using? And how are you going to connect with them? You need to start breaking all these things down in your marketing, and you can build that connection with your customer. So have a look at your marketing at the moment. What is it you're actually doing? How are you communicating with people? And how are you attracting them to you? Okay. The third secret then, how to introduce a bulletproof system to scale and maximise your impact and your income in under an hour a week. So you can't track what you don't measure. So as I said, I've been running my own social enterprise for a little while now, but it took a little bit to get it off the ground, and that was all it was my personal fear and my lack of structure. It was, so to start with, I was scared to go out and sell. I had a real aversion to asking people for money, which is crazy, but because that's what makes the world go around. But there was a fear, of stopping me going out and selling. But then also when I did go and sell, then I just had a load of start stops, not actually getting anywhere with it. And it's because I didn't have a system, okay? I had a very big vision of where I wanted to go. I wasn't lacking in that. I've got a big vision on where I want to go, but I didn't have a structure to get there. So it's about developing a system. You can't track what you don't measure. Okay, so as I said, I failed to get going. I was drifting with no real direction. I had a very clear end goal, but not a strategy to get there. I wasn't measuring anything. I wasn't tracking anything. And you can't track what you're not measuring. And what I was doing was putting stuff out there and then going, oh, that didn't work. And I say, retreating. I wasn't measuring anything. I wasn't looking at the data. I wasn't looking how far people got. So what you want to be doing is we need to track everything. We need to know the numbers. We need to know what our cost per acquisition is for a customer. We need to know the lifetime value of a customer. We need to know how much it costs us to get them and how much they're going to spend with us. And all those figures are key. We also need to look at our overall goals. Where do we want to go to, and saying how are we going to get there? You need to get obsessed with the data and double down on what's working. As I say, I was putting stuff out there and thinking, oh, that didn't work. But actually I was getting a lot of engagement with people, but then they weren't following through with the sales at the end. So I needed to look at what that was. What was the stumbling block? What was stopping people from taking that next step? Did I need to provide more value at the start? Was the language I was using wasn't correct? Was it a price factor? Was it a delivery problem? You know, I just put it out there and thought that didn't work, and actually it didn't get where I wanted to do at that point, but it did provide me with a ton of valuable data and a ton of valuable information that I could use to then move forward and build on it. So right now you might be feeling like this, super excited and super pumped, and this is giving you lots of different ideas to get moving and to start making some really positive changes in your business. Or you also might be feeling freaked out. I understand it coming from both angles. Some of you might be thinking this is really basic and that you've already got well developed products and services alongside really developed marketing strategies, but others of you might be scared, thinking you haven't got any of that in place, and you thought that you knew what you were doing, but now you're thinking you don't, and we don't have a process and a strategy. Or you just might have many questions, because this has been a quick skim over 3 very broad steps today that we've been looking at. But either way, wherever you are, 2020, it's brought us the worst crisis to many businesses worldwide that we've seen in a generation. And COVID-19, it's still a changing beast, with guidance being updated, changed daily as the situation evolves, and we don't know where we stand. As leaders, staff, customers, we've all been left in turmoil and doubt at times. And we're definitely not saying that we're without our challenges at the moment. Of course we are. But there's also ways now that in these uncertain times that we can stop and take stock and look at things and look at what opportunities might be there and how we can do things differently moving forward to advance and to thrive and to come out of this with a really, really changed business. How good would that feel if you could come out of this and just with positive and reliable income streams and new products and services, or how you've pivoted or how you've reorganised, and that you've got reliable recurring revenues, and that you're able to make the impact that you want to do because you've got the income that you need to be able to do it. So we're going to start producing videos. We're going to be producing videos on this new channel. So if any of this has been useful today, or you'd like to find out more, then subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to getting to know you a bit better. We've got a Facebook page, and we're on LinkedIn, and we've got the YouTube channel. So please subscribe and follow us, and we look forward to exploring and developing and working with you in the coming months. Take care. Thanks. Bye.